Good morning, everybody. It's Mike. It is Thursday, the 3rd of April. This is my morning setups been put out there for free. Maybe it helps some of you guys today on how I'm going to try to navigate these markets today and as we move forward a little bit here. So yesterday we had Liberation Day. The tax tariffs came out. At first it sounded like no big deal, 10%, and then the horror show started. And we saw China go to 53 or 55%, whatever the number is there. And then if you were trying to get away from the tariffs of China by putting your supply lines in other countries in the area like Vietnam and Indonesia and India, well, they all got whacked really hard too. Um, Europe hit 20%. Canada and Mexico still getting that 25. It looks like it's going to go into effect there. All the auto tariffs went in. The other big thing is the China, the stuff that comes in under $800 is all going to get tariffed and taxed heavily starting on May 2nd. All right. The rest of the world, I haven't seen any real solid responses other than they're all unhappy with it. And we'll see how this is going to play out over the next day or two or weeks, really, as we go forward. Today, we do have some economic data. We have challenger job cuts at 7:30, international trade goods and services at 8:30 with jobless claims. When the market opens, we have PMI composite final, ISM services index, and then we have a bunch of treasury auctions. 12:30, Jefferson and voters scheduled to speak and Cook at 2:30. Also tomorrow, we have non-farm payroll before market opens. At 8:30, we'll open the room up early for that. And then Powell speaks tomorrow morning as well. So busy agenda here. The Fed at this point, hearing what they say and how they react is going to be somewhat important. So let's jump into the futures real quick and let's talk. So, last night I stayed late with you guys. We traded. We made nice money trading this up. I walked out and boy, I guess I left right at the right time because everything left. And here's your big down candle, the initial reaction to the additional tariffs on the quote unquote bad actors. Down we come. Open up futures, we drop some more, and we're basically been holding here. So you can see the ES is down. We put a new range low now of 54.81. Okay, on the NQ. Similar, off the lows, a little bit better. Crude, crude getting shellacked here. Okay, why? Because if the economy is going to slow down and the global economy is going to slow down, that's bad for crude. That means less shipping. That's why crude is getting beaten up here. Bonds, new highs, flight to safety. Good that rates are coming down, but it's not for the right reasons. Gold, new all-time high yesterday, down a little bit today. Bitcoin, after the knee-jerk reaction down, is actually holding in better than I would have thought. That 85 level needs to be cleared. The VIX is not up as much as you would think it would be, and it's up. All right, so we're trading up into this 25 area right now. We got up into the 26s. We talked that back here when we had the sell up that, this didn't feel over because we didn't get that final flush up into the mid 30s. Maybe now we're going to get it. HYG yesterday had a good candle with the markets. The transport's off the lows, but still very weak. And the dollar getting absolutely crushed here. Why? Because nobody's going to want to hold on to the dollar. A lot of anger out there, right? So the dollar likely to take a hit, but a weaker dollar is not a bad thing as long as it doesn't get too weak. That's the problem. Could get too weak. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. All right. So let's jump into it here and let's talk market sentiment as we come in today. And these numbers do not include what happened after hours. So on the oscillators, we on the Nasdaq here, we are negative 12. We are slightly negative side of neutral. Hey, this is going to open much lower, right? Our oscillator is going to open much lower today. On the New York Stock Exchange, we're at plus 41, the positive side of neutral. Remember, we like signals under 200 for a reversal, over 200 for a reversal to the downside. So we'll see what we're going to get. Your advanced decline lines, again, this is all from yesterday, all curled up nicely to down the SPY leading. I expect that to continue to be the case here for a little bit. Put the call into the neutral zone and market breadth. I left it as leading down, but we did get a bounce yesterday on breadth on the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. Highs versus lows on the NASDAQ, plus 44 versus negative 303. Still heavily inverted here, showing us that things were not as well as the market looked yesterday. And on the S&P 500, plus 31 versus negative 43, still slightly inverted, but no longer as big. SPY is currently trading around 546 area, 547 area this morning, and let's talk. Right now, we're scheduled to open down here, a little bit above the low of the other day. I can't believe came in and put a low of 542 in. All right, so That puts us, you know, about 20, about 18 to 20 handles off of the 8 day. Out of the Bollinger Bands, down quite a bit. Very hard to short this market out of the gate. I'd be more in favor of shorting back bounces here, but you're going to have to go with the flow here and see how the market wants to react. But right now, you're down quite a bit. We're going to get news. You're going to get headlines. You're going to hear about other countries stepping in. One thing this is going to definitely affect is the price of cars. It's going to affect the price of food for the United States. Whether you think about it, we get a lot of our food from around the world that we can't make here. Coffee, for example. The only place we make coffee in is, not a lot of it, is in Hawaii. Fresh fruits come in. A lot of them come in from overseas this time of year. We can't get them here this time of year, right? Seafood, fish migrate around, it comes from different waters. So this is not going to just be on everything you guys are thinking about. So just keep that in the back of your mind. All right. So watch today, see where we could bounce. If we bounce back up here, watch to see if we come up to the bottom of that 555 area. That would be the area I'd watch to see if we get up to there, what happens if not, or even needing to here into this 554 area, maybe 553.50. We'll keep an eye on these levels, 551.90 here also, big spot. If we cannot hold and they decide they want to dump us, we talked about 540 being the next support this week. Nothing's changed. It's still my main level, picking up off of the lows from back here in early September. All right, and then we'll see. Okay, let's talk about names and the markets and sectors. So this morning, financials taking a nice little whack with everything else down with the markets, but these are not going to be down as much. I would keep my eyes on JP Morgan. JP Morgan, best in breed. I like it up to 236.35 area. 240.05 is my point of control, and we'll see what we get. Yeah, you actually have a little gap sitting in here on it. I'm not big enough to worry about. We're going to get rid of that. Okay, and we'll see. JP Morgan was one of the stronger names yesterday. We'll keep our eyes on that one. I keep saying JP Morgan because it's best in breed, and that's why I have you guys focus on that one. Energy's getting shellacked. That means names like Chevron are going to get beaten up today. All the way down into the 161 area already this morning. That's quite the drop on this one. Again, careful shorting it here out of the gate. It's also into this level of support. You could watch right here off the previous breakout of 161.77. It's into that area. If it can hold, if not, the 50-day there is your option there at 157.66. China names getting beaten up pretty good. PDD, which ships a lot of cheap stuff to the United States that gets around tariffs, they're down quite a bit. They're going to have to see how they deal with that coming into May 2nd. It's already down here into this area here, and you can see all the way down to the 111 area. All right, already coming in, 100 days sitting here at 111.25. BABA also getting smacked down today on this news. They're off the lows though. 120 was low. They're at 126. We'll see what it wants to do. It's not all down all that much. Watch the 50-day at 123.57. If that can't hold, it can come down even further. But you're creating this nice little top here on rolling over, right? Little roll, nice little roll over here on this one. All right, where else should we go? Let's talk names like Costco and Walmart, which have been strong the last couple of days. They're down with the market. They get, this is going to affect them. They're going to have to figure out how they're going to absorb these without hurting the stock. Down to 632.55 on this one. And you can see it's not 632, 932. Sorry. Coming on down here and watch that 200-day again around 920. That's a nice area to watch that one if it comes down to there. Walmart, which had been very strong the last couple of days, also back down here into the 83.50 area. And that puts it just above just on the 200-day here. Big spot to watch. That is a nasty gap down on Walmart. The semis. So chip makers, Taiwan got slapped with a heavy one. It's not the chips so much that are going to get hit. It's the raw produced products coming out of these areas. But remember, NVIDIA doesn't assemble their graphics cards in the United States. They assemble them over in China and other countries around Asia for the most part. So again, watch the SMH down to 204 here. This is not good news for them. This is coming up and almost to the new range low of 204.51. NVIDIA is getting hit pretty hard. It's already down here. 104 is the area I'd like it as a buy. It's just a little bit above that right now. 106 area is my point of control today. So we'll keep an eye on it. It's one of the stronger names. If a name's going to bounce today, it's going to be a name like NVIDIA, right? It's been strong. We'll see how they react. So watch it at that 104 level and then watch it about that again at that 106 level today. If not, new range lows incoming there. AMD, not so strong, beaten up here. I have 96, 90 area as my buy trigger, which is into the lows here. And 94.73 looks like it's calling again on this one. Let's spend some time on Apple. Apple's going to get hit hard on this. There's just no denying it. Apple's been moving their supply chains all over the place to try to lighten up their dependency on China and to stay out of trade wars. They're going to get hit hard. Nothing they can do about it. They're going to have to figure out how they're either going to absorb these 52% tariffs from 55% tariffs from China and then the rest from India and other countries they're in, or pass them on to consumer and not hurt sales. 206.15 area, that's my buy trigger today. 206.7, 206.15 area. Right now, we're trading just a little bit above that. This one's down about the most. It's been one of the stronger names. Shorting Apple down here is not something I want to do on a drop like this. It's already down around 8%. 211.22, my point of control. If it bounces, I'd be careful there and make sure you can take that out. Can Apple go lower after this? Absolutely, it can, but I would be careful chasing shorts into this. And then you got to look around and say, how is this going to affect the names that's not? And you look at a name like Tesla. Tesla was strong yesterday and is holding in better here. Tesla today, it's like my sell trigger on it today is all the way up here at 278.35. I think this one can kind of come up, kiss the bottom of this range, maybe even try to go green. This would be probably my number one long today because while they're affected somewhat by this, no more than they were. And unless you see a country come out and specifically retaliate against them, i.e. China bans the sales of Tesla in the country, right? I don't think they're good. I think they'll hold in probably better. A lot of discussion that Musk is leaving Doge soon. It's been denied, but there's a lot of chatter about it out there. So I don't know. I'll keep an eye on it. Ears for that. Like it down here off this 264 level. If it drops down there, it reclaims it. Bottom line, though, if Tesla wants to be weak, it's not down that much. It's still well inside yesterday's candle, and it can roll over and work its way back to 220. So I would put Tesla on my list as a nice long, potentially up to the 200-day, even or short, depending on what it wants to do. It's not down that much. It's stronger. As for the rest of tech and everything else out there, I think today's just a day to take it nice and easy. See what we do. Microsoft down here, not beaten up too bad yet, but down to this 372.50 area. Uh, Not even to the new range low. It could come down there if you're looking for a short. Amazon's going to get smacked around by this, right? They get a lot of stuff out of China. They're by point of control 187.05 area. That's where it's just got rejected at all overnight. So you can see it. That's why I put that there, right? You can see it. There's the volume. The nail it needs to take out. Watch 182.90 area as your buy trigger. All right. So we'll see what we get on these names today. We'll see where we go. Meta shouldn't be overly affected by this as they don't really do much with products. Yes, they have some, but not a lot. I like it above 564.86, better at 552.97. You kind of get the idea of where these are coming in here. So, nice and easy today. Today is not a day to be a hero unless the market gives us something to go on. Today's the day to sit back, try to make some cash flow, figure things out, and see how we react as the rest of the world reacts and see what the market does, and go from there. So that said, guys, I will be with you at 9 in the room. I hope everybody's doing well, and I hope this helps you guys. And sorry for so long today, but there's a lot to talk about. Catch you guys live starting at 9.